Hello, everyone. This is Jesus from Hustling Labs, and today we're going to be discussing some of the use cases for which I use group focus while I'm building in bubble.io. Group focus is really important in your development because it allows you to build nice user interfaces and improve the user experiences to customers that are using your applications that are built using bubble.io. As an example, and this is the biggest use case for which I use group focus for is for building dropdown. Rather than building a dropdown that look like most other dropdowns and that will have the system predetermined design, I like to design my own dropdowns so they look better and they are more aesthetic for what the users are going to be looking to options. Another use cases that I use group focus for is for tooltips. So whenever I have a field that will need further explanation, or if I want to do some kind of onboarding that is native using the elements that are provided by Google, I like to use the group focus element to be able to build those natively and perhaps do some tracking with them natively within the application. That being said, we're going to jump in and we're going to take a look at how we use group focus in 2 or 3 scenarios to give you a better idea of what you can build with them. And from there, hopefully you can build better user interfaces for your users or can improve the ones that you already have with some tips that we'll be providing. So the very first way that we're going to build is a dropdown for languages. As you can see here, you drop down, it looks much better than a regular drop down. Second way is going to be using a tooltip like this one, where if the user is confused about what is being asked, they can get a little bit more context that you have previously provided to them. So let's go here and let's delete what we have. We can build from scratch, show you exactly what we're talking about. And starting with a fresh coding, we're going to be building everything from zero. The very first thing that we want to do is we want to drop a group. This is going to be the language drop-down group. And this is going to be 180 pixels wide. It's going to be right here. I drop the tooltip as well. The group and add folders so we can see what they. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a test here. The first one, a wish. And we're going to add some padding just for the sake of making it. On this, we're going to add an icon to both of them. And the first one is going to be an arrow. It should be a row. So this arrow will be 20 pixels, like 20 pixels. Going to be facing down. Lastly, just for this, but I want it to look nice. Let's put that to the side, and then a tooltip intro. And again, this is going to be 20 pixels by 20 pixels. We're using like an old UI of the responsive engine. It's what it is. This is an old installation. So we're going to add the first group focus, and the first group focus will be the language one. And it's going to be up to 180 wide. So the first thing that you want to learn is that the reference element, that's where this group focus will line up to. And in this case, we are going to have the language selector one, which is this one here. To offset the top is to move it from the top. The higher the number, the lower it goes. The lower the number, including negative numbers, is the higher it will go. In this case, we're going to add a 4. Same thing with on the offset left. The lower the number goes, going into the negatives, the more to the left it would go, the higher, the more to the left it would go. That's what it does. For this one, we're going to make a fixed height, and it's going to be 160 pesos because we don't want it expanding further down than it needs to. And we are going to add padding notes just because. Then we're going to add a repeating group. This repeating group will display option sets that I have created, having data for languages, some languages names. So what we're going to do is we're going to select language, and then we're going to get option, and that option would be languages in all options. Then we're going to come back here. We're going to drop test element, and the test element will be the current language display. And we're going to expand this box, and we're going to add a workflow to the original group to toggle every time that it needs to open or close. Language focus. And we're going to test it. As you can tell, it's working correctly. It's lined up with the right group, and it has all the languages that we had created before. So this is the very first use case that we will use for dropdowns. They look much nicer than the regular dropdown. And drop down here, you can see the difference. Choices with all language. So we're going to look them side by side so you can see what we're talking about. This is the normal one with the gray screen. Max, gray in the back. This is the system default, and this is the one that we have created. Arguably, much better looking. You have much more flexibility. Created other drop downs, included country names and flags. Like you can do a whole bunch of stuff with these, all types of customization to make it look exactly how you need it to look. But this is not the only way that we will show you how to use tooltips. I will show you a second example out of 6 or 7 that I would think of that you will be able to use them. The second example that I wanted to bring up is the tooltips. So tooltips are used to guide users to onboarding, to provide context when they need a little bit more context because they're not understanding what is being asked of them, or there might be a confusing field that they have to fill out. So that's what I will use tooltips for. We're going to delete this, and we're going to start working with it. We're going to drop another focus element, and this reference would be the tooltip group that we had created before. In this case, we're going to bring it up 40 pixels because this is 40 by 40, and 40 to the right. And this should be 40 pixels tall. So it's high enough. Okay, we're actually going to bring it to the left a little bit more. And we're going to take out the borders. So we're going to add an element here. And say this is my tooltip. And I'm going to make sure that this is center. We're going to create our workflow. Toggles that tooltip. That's one. Create it. And here we're going to see how it looks. Here we click, and as you can see that this is my tooltip, disappears. appears, disappear, appears, disappear, appear. Ah, so there you have it. These are just some ways that you can use tooltips in your demo application. Hopefully give you a better idea of what can be done using tooltips. If you have any questions, concerns, please let me know down in the comments below. I really appreciate the feedback that I receive from the community. Likes on the videos really help me reach out more people. If you wouldn't mind, I would really appreciate if you can leave a like below. If you like my content, please subscribe. It helped me reach 1,000 subscribers. And once I reach 1,000 subscribers, ideally I will start getting paid for this so I can make more videos on top of the ones that I'm already making and just being completely transparent with you. But if nothing else, I hope this video helped you build something truly amazing, improve the user interface and the user experience for your users. And I hope that I'm making a good impact in your developer career. If you have any questions, like I said, please leave them down in the comments below. I will reply to all of them. Thank you for watching and I hope you have a great rest of your day.